Hey guys, it's Brother John here. So good to be with you on this first podcast in January. I'm recording this on Epiphany night. I'm getting ready for rehearsals, but I wanted to stop and do this real quick. So Epiphany, it's the time that we celebrate the Magi finding the star that led them to Jesus Christ, where they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and they worshiped him there. Oh, what a sweet and beautiful part of our nativity story. And so we'll be celebrating the Sundays of Epiphany until April 14th will be the last one, and that happens to be Valentine's Day as well. And then February 21st, that Sunday, will mark the first Sunday of Lent, and when we start looking toward the cross. Such an exciting time to be a believer. It's an exciting time in our world to be a believer, honestly. So we're seeing some things unfold, and so all the more important it is for us to hang on to this sacred text, to the ancient words that drive us, that motivate us, and help us to understand. But fellowship is a huge part of that too, and that's why I want to remind you about Zoom. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m., Zoom. We pray for one another, and we just have a great time. I hope that you can join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. for our Zoom meeting. Well, we're going to look at the ancient text, and again, we're going to look at a Psalm of David. This is Psalm 9, and it is a psalm of thanksgiving and victory. And it's very interesting when we look at this Psalm of David, Book 1, Psalm 9. We look at this psalm, and what we see is we see it's directed to, in this superscript, it's directed to the choir master. And it says, according to Muth-Labben. It says, to the choir master, according to Muth-Labben, a psalm of David. Now, I have read several different versions of what people, theologians and philologists and musicians think Muth-Labben is, because so many of these words we just don't have any connection to now. Even if you study Hebrew, there's just no connection. So one of the common understandings is that it was some sort of an instrument. Another interesting understanding was that it was to be sung in the voice of maidens, or in the range of maidens. So would have been maybe a falsetto sound if a man sung it, or something like that. But what I like, and I don't know that this is the case, but there is at least a strong leaning that this particular psalm was written, Muth-Labben, meaning after the great victory. And the indication is perhaps this psalm was a psalm written after David slew Goliath. That's what some theologians think. I think when you read this psalm, that kind of makes a lot of sense. And so it could very well be that that's where David was mentally when he was writing the psalm. 20 verses in this psalm. I'm not going to go over all of them. But David sings praises to the Lord, and then he says, will you remember me in my next victory so I can sing praises to you again? It's definitely a psalm that's worth reading every day for a while and just getting your understanding of it. But what I'm going to focus in on is verse 2. And when I led worship last week in our stay-at-home service, I even mentioned verse 2. And verse 2 is so powerful. I want to share it with you. And this goes to us as lead worshipers here at Parkway Baptist. It says, I will be glad and exult in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. So that's there are several words in that sentence. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. But in the Hebrew, it's only 3 words. Zamar, Shem, Elyon. Zamar, I will sing. Shem, your name. Elyon, Lord Most High. I love how the Hebrew language can be so concise and yet carry such great, heavy meaning. And what great, heavy meaning this carries for us. Whether we have victories or we have stunning defeats, I will sing your praise, O Most High. That's our job. That's our calling. And that should be our hunger and our passion. So I want you to think about that this week. I will sing your praise, O Most High. Zamar, Shem, Elyon. Those three words, let them just resound in your soul and your spirit this week as you think about the Lord and think about in your victories and in your defeats. And the neat thing about King David is we got to see him walk through both. And so you think that same way. Now, next week, we're going to look at Psalm 10, which a lot of theologians believe that Psalm 9 and Psalm 10 were actually one psalm and then later on divided. And so we're going to see kind of the other half of that. And it's more of a vindicate me kind of psalm, which is always interesting. So start reading Psalm 10 now so that we can really have a great discussion about that. I'm so glad that you tune in each week. I'm so glad that you're zooming in, and I cannot wait to see what 2021 has in store for us. I do believe eventually we're going to be able to get back into the loft with the full choir, full orchestra. I'm so excited about that. I'm counting down the days, and I'm planning for it even now. And in our Zoom meetings, I'm always glad to just share with you a little bit more about those plans and where we're headed. I think this is going to be an amazing year for the Parkway Baptist Church worship ministry. I hope you'll join me. Hope you'll stay strong, stay healthy, and remember, I'm praying for you every day. God bless you.